I hadn't seen my son for 10 years. Not in person. Not in photographs sent directly to me. Not even in the familiar way. A child's voice stays alive in a mother's memory. For a decade, he existed only in fragments, someone else's story, someone else's pride. People would say his name with admiration, as if it alone explained everything. Your son is doing very well abroad. I heard he's rich now. You must be proud. I would smile. Mothers learn how to smile through absences. But at night, when the house was quiet, I wondered how a child could leave so completely that even silence felt intentional. The only reason that silence didn't destroy me was my sister. Layla. She was younger than me by 5 years, but life had aged her early, widowed at 32. No children, no second marriage, just quiet endurance and a softness the world had taken advantage of more times than I could count. When my husband died, it was Layla who moved in without asking. When my joints began to ache and my hands started trembling, it was Layla who cooked, cleaned, and reminded me to take my medicine. She never said, "I'm tired." She never said, "I need help." She never said, "This is too much." She simply did what needed to be done. I used to tell her she deserved more from life. She would smile and say, "This is enough for me." Then one afternoon, after 10 years of nothing, my phone rang. I almost didn't answer. The number was unfamiliar, international. When I heard his voice, my knees weakened. Amy. Just one word, polished, confident, almost rehearsed. "I'm coming home," he said. "I want to see you, I want to fix things." I cried. I didn't ask why now. I didn't ask what had changed. Mothers don't interrogate miracles. He arrived 2 weeks later. A black car, shiny shoes, clothes that looked expensive even to someone who didn't understand fashion, a watch that reflected light like a mirror. He hugged me briefly, awkwardly, as if affection were something he had once known, but forgotten how to perform. Layla stood beside me, smiling nervously, hands folded in front of her. "She's my sister," I said. He nodded, barely. At first, everything seemed fine. He spoke about success, about sacrifices, about how hard life had been without family support. He said he wanted to give back. He insisted we didn't need to worry about money anymore. He even told Layla she didn't need to work. "I'll take care of everything now," he said. She looked at me with relief in her eyes, like a burden had finally been lifted. That was the moment I should have paid attention. Because generosity that arrives late often comes with conditions. It didn't happen all at once. It never does. At first it was small things. "Layla, can you make tea again? This one's cold." "Layla, iron my shirt properly. This crease looks cheap." "Layla, why is the house so quiet? Turn on the TV." Then came the expectations. She woke earlier, she slept later, she stopped sitting with us, she ate in the kitchen. I noticed bruises on her hands from scrubbing, dark circles under her eyes. When I asked her if she was tired, she laughed. "He's used to things being perfect," she said. "I don't mind." But she did mind. I saw it in the way her shoulders slouched, in the way she apologized for things that weren't her fault. One afternoon, I heard shouting. Not loud, controlled, sharp. "You broke it again." I came out of my room and saw my sister standing frozen, holding a glass with a small crack in it. My son stood in front of her, jaw tight, eyes cold. "Do you know how much this costs?" he said. She whispered, "I'm sorry." Something twisted inside my chest. That night, I asked him why he spoke to her like that. He laughed. "Amy, don't start. She's staying here for free. She should be useful." Useful. The word echoed in my head long after he went to bed. I began paying closer attention. I saw how he didn't thank her. how he corrected her in front of guests, how he treated her presence as a service, not companionship. He stopped calling her Kala, then stopped using her name. Hey, listen. Why is this late? I watched my sister disappear, and I realized something that filled me with shame. I had allowed it because I was afraid of losing my son again, afraid of conflict, afraid that if I spoke, he would leave, and this time never return. But fear has a cost, and I was letting my sister pay it. The breaking point came on a quiet evening. I was resting when I heard something fall, then his voice raised just enough to hurt. Are you stupid? I told you to be careful. I stood up, heart pounding, and walked into the kitchen. Layla was on the floor, picking up broken pieces of a plate, her hands trembling. My son stood over her. That was the moment. Not dramatic, not loud, but final. That night I didn't sleep. I thought about my son as a child, about how I taught him to say please, about how I told him that strength meant protecting the weak. And I realized something painful. I had raised him with love, but I had never taught him humility. The next morning, I asked them both to sit. Layla hesitated. Sit with me, I said. She obeyed immediately, too immediately. I looked at my son. This house, I said calmly, is not yours. He smirked. I pay the bills. Yes, I replied, but your name is not on the papers. I placed a folder on the table. I kept everything, the deed, the will, the accounts. His smile vanished. You left for 10 years, I continued. You sent nothing. This house belongs to me. He stared at the documents like they had betrayed him. Then I turned to my sister. You are not a servant, I said, and I am sorry I allowed anyone to treat you like one. She broke down. My son stood up. So what? You're choosing her over me. I met his eyes. She stayed, I said. You didn't. I gave him a choice. Apologize, change, or leave. He laughed once, bitterly, and packed his bags. When the door closed behind him, the house felt different. Quieter, but lighter. Layla apologized to me for causing problems. I held her and cried. Weeks passed. She began to heal. She rested, she smiled, she laughed again. Months later, my son called. I was wrong, he said. I listened. Then I said, if you want to come back, you start by respecting the people who stayed. He apologized to her. Not perfectly, not easily, but sincerely. Some wounds don't disappear. But dignity, once restored, changes everything. And I learned something I wish I had learned sooner. Being a mother does not mean accepting cruelty. Sometimes love means standing up, even when your hands shake. Especially then.